into the second round of qualifying. We go now over in the Conference League, that's right, with absolutely madness this week. Many games. We're going to go through them one by one, getting into it, coming at ya next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video today. We take a look at the 2025-2026 Europa Conference League. It's the qualifying round, that's right, second round of qualifying, first legs, about 40 odd matches. We're going to go through them in just a second. If you're new, where you been, smash your subscribe. You want some shop for Blackburn Rovers, World Football, Conference League. We're going to all here under one rooski, that's right. We've been here from the get-go. We're going to go all the way through to May, but today we're going to go through the second round of qualifying. Some big clubs in it, some clubs already eliminated. Who are they? We'll show you in just a second. Big shout out to the members and the patrons, and once again, if you're new, smash the old subscribe. So we are going to take a little look at last week's qualifiers, second legs, my predictions, of course, real score lines, and then of course showcase you who's left in the mixer. So sit tight, hold on, and let's get into it. I think I did pretty bad this week, so but anyway, who knows? It's absolutely bedlam at the early stage. Some players, teams still on their holidays. Kicking it all off, we saw St Joseph's. Looks like they went through after all a British encounter, you could say, against Cliftonfield. 2-2 on the night, penalty shootout maybe. Saw St Joseph's go through. I went the other way with Cliftonville. Meanwhile, Harvard West County, they're out, losing to Floriana. When I say out, they lost on the night. We'll confirm who's through and who's out in just a second. But Floriana winning 3-2 there could send the Welsh boys out. Looks like they did. Meanwhile, Dudelange also losing to Atlétic Escaldes. Bit of a surprise there. 3-2 for the away side. The Luxembourgians losing. Meanwhile, Padlem Sknot coming up with a 4-1 win over the Magpies. They look like they're out. 2-0 winners for the home side there. Oda Basai with a 1-1 draw against Torpedo Kukasasi. I went with a 2-0 win myself. Klashvich also picking up a 2-0 win over Sajonki. I went with a 3-1 win myself. Penamot did draw with Kano Zalgiris 1-1. I went with a 0-0. Nurman Grondo with a 4-0 win over Uratu. I went with a 2-1 win myself. Dilla Gordi with a 1-0 win over Luxembourg. RFC Luxembourg there. I went with a draw. Partizani lost to Nomu Kalju 1-0 there. I went with a 3-1 home win. For Zalnina with a 4-2 away win against Dagovis. Big win for them. And Petrokov did beat Burkhardt Kanya to get themselves a big win on the night. Did they go through though? We'll have a look in just 1 second. Let's go to the next slide, because there was a lot of games last time, but there's many more games this time, so we'll get to those in a minute. Meanwhile, continuing, Silkeborg Krakavo with a 2-1 win over Deki Tutski. I went with a 1-1 draw myself. Kara Rabaratniki picking up a 1-0 loss to Torpedo. Belas Shodondo, I went with a 2-1 win away as well. Look at this, Vikango Redkiewicz with an 8-0 win over Malashavina. I went with just a 2-0 win. You can probably safe to say Vikango are through. Kopa with a 3-1 win over Sherienia Zrasheviovo. I went with a 1-0 win the other way. Looks like I got that one wrong. Florita, SP La Florienta with a 2-2 draw against Vada Skopski. I went with a 2-0 away win myself. Skuchka with a 2-0 away win against Dinamo Brest, causing a bit of an upset. No upset here though. HK here Helsinki, 5-0 winners of Rudevic. I went with a 2-0 win myself. Hegelman also losing to St Patrick's Athletic, 2-0 loss there. Meanwhile, Pyunik with a 5-0 win over Tre Fiori. The Butchers, the Bakers, the Candlestick Makers. I went with the 2-0 win myself on that one. Santa Coloma with the 2-0 win as well over Borat. That was my pick. Borat Banyuka, but guess what? The away side coming out on top. Lan with a big 4-2 win over FK Uda. I went with the 2-0 win the other way. And then finally, Valjorečević with the 2-1 win over FC Flora. Goodness gracious me. And that is the last round of games. Now, I'm going to jump into the deep end here with the next round of games. We are not going to do extensive coverage. I'm just going to go quick fire with my picks, because there is so many games. It's like 40 odd games. We'll be here for 2 weeks, and I'm not on my best bit of form at the moment. I'm actually still trying to get well. Anyway, so we're going to jump in the deep end with the next round of games, and there are a whole bunch of them. I think there's 2 slides of these, and they're tiny. Bear with. So here we go, guys. No rest for the wicked. We've got to keep going. Hopefully you can read that. If not, you're just going to have to understand my brutal attempt at saying it. So we're going to kick it off with KF Ballkani against Floriana. Hopefully I've got my predictions in. I should have. I don't know too much about any of these guys without looking at them. So it's going to be very much you know, going for broke. So I'm not going to dib a dab out. Let's get into it. Going to go with, what am I going to go with on this one? Going to go with a 1-1 draw, point down the middle. Can't really separate two sides because there's not too much knowledge for me for doing these two sides. Next up we have Zira up against Hajduk split. Now I'm going to go with the away side on this one. They're going to be too superior in my honest opinion. Although they pick up a cheeky away win here, bring it back to Croatia's second leg and should get through. Of course, next time around, Levadia up against Iberia. I'm going to go with the home side on this one. 2-1 winners on that one as well. Silkeborg coming out of Scandinavia up against Kauno. Going to go with the Silkeborgs. I think they're going to have too much quality at this stage. New Saints against Differdange. That's right, New Saints out of Wales. Differdange out of Luxembourg. It's a tight one. Going to go with the 2-1 win though for the Welsh for the first leg. I do think Differdange will have a chance in that second leg to oust the Welshies to go through to the next stage. Ljubljana against Interclub de Escaldes. Got to back Ljubljana on this one. 3-0 wins comfortably as well. Going for the host side on this one. Budućnost against Milsami. Also going to back the hosts on this one with a 2-0 win. I think they're, again, difficult game though. Difficult game. Could go the other way on this one. But I think Budućnost traditionally, historically, should have enough to get through to this next state, or at least get a win in this leg here. Atlétic Escaldes up against Dinamo City. Dinamo City is a new name to me. I don't know too much about them and where they are from. I think actually they're from Albania, looking at my quick flick over there of the flags. I'm going to go with those guys against Escaldes, who I think out of Andorra perhaps. Do I have that? Yeah, Andorra. So yeah, surely got too much class in the end. FK Astana against Zimbru was going to be a toughie as well. Going to go with a 3-1 win for the hosts, Astana, to take the victory and again give themselves a massive lead in the first leg. Next we go Žalgiris out of Lithuania against Linfield, coming at you out of. Where are they? They're Northern Ireland, correct? I think so. Tough one. I think I might be leaning towards the home side on this one. 1-0 win. Then we have a big juggernaut of a European champion here. Of course, Rosenborg out of Norway up against Banga Gargždai. We're going to back Rosenborg, of course, at this early stage. 3-0 winners for the Norwegians. They'll have too much class again in that first leg. Pyunik against Győri. I just clocked them over here, I think. Győri coming out of Hungary. Pyunik coming out of Armenia. I think I'm leaning towards the home side for the first leg. Oh yeah, going with the draw actually. 1-1 in the end, which of course give the Hungarians a chance on the second leg. Meanwhile, Ararat-Armenia up against Universitatea Cluj out of Romania, I believe. Ararat-Armenia also out of Armenia. Tough one, another tough one. Yep, it is pretty much split down the middle there, 1-1. Can't really call for these Armenians at the moment. We have Kauno Žalgiris against Valjo. That's coming out of Iceland. Žalgiris coming out of Lithuania. Toughie this one, also leaning towards the away side here, the Icelanders. Didn't they just put 8 in that last one? I can't remember. Meanwhile, Hibernia's coming out of Malta up against Spartak Trnava. You've got to back the away side on this one. 1-0 winners. Trnava should take it. Meanwhile, Aris Limassol out of Cyprus up against Puskás. Also probably out of Hungary, you would imagine, with a name like that. Puskás, tough one. Going to go with the Cypriot outfit for the first leg. 1-0 win to give themselves the. But another British / Irish / whatever you want to call it encounter, St Joseph's up against the Shamrock Rovers. It's a tight one. I think I'm leaning towards a draw on this. Yeah, a goal apiece, 1-1 in the end. Shamrock Rovers will fancy the chances in the second legs. Ilves Tampere got smashed in the last round of the European thing. 8-0 in the first leg against Shakhtar Donetsk or somebody like that. But they're here against AZ Alkmaar, juggernaut out of the Dutchlands. They're going to back the Dutchies here with a 3-0 win on the road. That's where I'm going anyway. Meanwhile, Ararat-Armenia up against HJK Helsinki out of Finland. Leaning towards the Finns, I am. Yes, 2-1 win. Picking up the 3-pointer. Or at least the upper hand in this one. FK Akureyri up against Sparta Prague. Again, you got to back the Czechs on this one. They're a decent outfit, ones to can cause some problems in the group stage whenever that comes around. So I'm going to go with a 3-0 win for them on the road as well. Arias Naxavan up against Arias Solanki. Is that out of Greece or is that out of Cyprus? I think that's out of Cyprus, correct? Solanki. It might be Greece actually. Yeah, we're going to go Greece. I'm going to go with those guys. Actually, going with a draw, leading with a draw on that one. It was a toughie. Meanwhile, Padlema up against Iko Salina. I believe they're out of Sweden. That's right. Toughie, backing them, I think. No, going for the upset. 2-1 win. Padlema where are they out of? They're out of Estonia. Of course, that's a bit of an upset. Might want to double check on that one. Viking up against FC Koper. Going to go with the 1-0 win for the hosts on that one. Riga also taking a 2-0 win of Dili Gori. Petro Cup against Zara, of course, also going with a 2-1 win. So that, my friends, is just the first half we're ploughing through these like no man's business. So let's get to the next batch, and we got some big boys here. We've got Hammarby out of Sweden as well. Get Sporting Charleroi out of Belgium. This one's tough, very tough. Got to go with a draw as well down that one, right down the middle. Cannot call it for the first leg. FK Novi Pazar against Jagiellonian Brześć out of Poland. Got to back the Poles on this one. 2-0 winners again at this level. You should be expecting those guys to have too much class to be troubled at this stage. Poliasa Zomtumia up against Santa Coloma. I think Santa Coloma, I may have misunderstood. I thought they might have been out of Portugal, but no, gone with the hosts. Gone with the hosts, that's right. 1-0 win. Santa Clara must be out of Portugal. Meanwhile, Alexandria up against Partizan. This was tough as well. Might be leaning towards Partizan here. No, what am I talking about? 2-1 win, home side, Alexandria. Meanwhile, Omonia Nicosia out of Cyprus against Torpedo Kukasai out of Georgia. 2-0 winners for the Cypriots on this one. Chernomori Havana up against Istanbul Başakşehir. No questions. Go for the Turkish team here. They should have too much class. Vaduz. Now they are the Liechtenstein team playing out in Swiss, I believe, is that right? Against Dungannon Swifts. Gone with an away side here, Dungannon Swifts. I don't even know where the Dungannon Swifts are from. That's a tricky one. Why would they have done that? Dungannon Swifts out of Northern Ireland. Yeah, maybe. Meanwhile, Kosici up against Numan Grondo. We're going to go with the 2-0 win for the hosts. AEK Athens out of Greece up against Hapoel Beersheva out of Israel. Toughie, this one. Very, very tough. We're going to go with a 3-1 win for AEK Athens. Vadazin against Santa Clara, sitting on the fence. 1-1 draw. A chance for both sides in that second leg. Paxi against NK Maribor. That looks like something I would go with an away win here. Yeah, 1-0 win. Maribor for this one. Radikiki up against KI Klashvich. Tough one, this one. Don't know which way I would have leaned on that one. 1-1, that's why I couldn't decide. Torpedo Belshondo against Maccabi Haifa. Got to go with a 3-2 goal fest on that one. Goal bonanza, 5 goals in it. Austria Vienna against Spari, going with the hosts on that one. Of course I am. FK Valzana against Vikanga Reykjavik, also going with the Icelandics with a 1-0 away win. Vadia Skopski going to lose to FC Lausanne out of Swiss. 2-1 on the night there. FK Skutski up against Beitar Jerusalem. Toughie, this one. 2-0 win, go for the hosts. Dynamo Minsk picking up a win of Agnieszka Rozoni. Dundee United against Una Strassen. I think they're out of Luxembourg. Going to go with a 1-0 win for the Scots. Just enough to give them the edge, but still not out of it just yet. HB Tórshavn against Bodomy, Denmark. Got to go with the Danes here. 2-0 winners on the road. St Patrick's Athletic are still in here. Up against Nomi Kalju. Going to go with the 2-1 win for the Irish. Picking up the win there. And Larn also in it. Up against FC Pristina also. Going to go with the win for them at home. Rakow Kruszkowa out of Poland against MSK Selina. Toughie, this one. Toughie. Zelina out of Slovenia. Gone with the 3-1 win there for the Poles here. Into the final two. FK Sarajevo against Universitatea Craiova, also out of Romania. Going to go with a 1-1 draw. And then finally, wrapping it all up, Deci Tutsi against Rapid Vienna. And it is a 2-0 win on the road. That is my quick fire Conference League picks. You're lucky you got them, because I was absolutely dragging my heels to get that done. But anyway, make sure you subscribe, smash the like. Of course, we'll be back for the second legs. Hopefully, I'll be back at home for that one. But until then, I'll see you soon. Whenever we return, we're done.